So we left off at carpets, right? Carpets, was it? Gardens. We can go back to carpets, because I think we'll have enough time once these two videos. The Earth was round. I mean, I can name off more people if I want to. Gunpowder. Oh, gardens was the last thing, so I can go back and do the ones where I thought I were just so stupid I just pass them up. Medieval Europe had a kitchen and herb gardens, but it was the Arabs who developed the idea of the garden as a place of beauty and meditation. Meditation. You know, I've seen that in the Old Testament, in the New Testament. I haven't read the word meditation in the Quran. You mean the beads or whatever, the Allahu Akbar that came from the Christians, came from the Rosary, and actually the crazy Wahhab school says you can't do that. You have to count on your fingers, and those are actually from the Kafir. That's not so, but well, okay, whatever. A place for beauty and meditation. The first royal pleasure gardens in Europe were opened in the 11th century Muslim Spain. Flowers which had originated in Muslim gardens. Flowers which had originated in Muslim gardens. Originated. Tricky word right there. Originated in Muslim gardens. Include the carnation and the tulip. That's not true with the tulip. Gardens were an Arab tradition long before Islam. Yes, they were. Yes, they were. So far, Islam, to claim this as an invention, ignores thousands of years of pre-Islamic Arab culture. Not to mention the legendary hanging garden. Oh my God, I called it the Hanging Gardens of Babylon, which were built by Chaldean king Nebuchadnezzar around 600 BC to pleasure his sick wife. She was homesick for the mountains. That's why. I was just trying to go by what I knew of this stuff, but the picture of the Chinese crankshaft was awesome. That was a good help. And there was another thing that was part of it. Whatever. Amethyst of Media. It also his wife Amethyst of Media. It also ignores Roman tradition of gardens and fountains used for meditation and beauty. The beautifully aesthetic Chinese Suzhou gardens, 770 to 476 BC, which were designed specifically for relaxation. See, that seems very Chinese to me. Good deal. Doesn't sound Islamic, sounds Chinese. That they would do that, and that the pagan Romans would do that, independently of each other. Because they both managed to, harness water and had canals and fountains and stuff like that. Because it's not like the Persians and the Romans had, done all this stuff in gardening to where the Muslims could say, oh, you guys had that for 1,000 years. Hey, maybe we should, we invented that. No. The oldest pictorial records of gardens are from ancient Egyptian tomb paintings. Much like modern gardens, they came complete with shelters, pools, shady walks. I don't know what that pergolas. I don't have a pergola. I hope not. It sounds like a type of tumor. Oh man. And plants growing in terracotta pots. In ancient times, temples were contained in what would be recognized as gardens. Yeah, Egyptian temples of Hatshepsut. I always have trouble with this name. Hatshepsut. Oh God, Hatshepsut, or however I would script the name. I'll go to the Greek guy. Oh, he's not. He's here. The temple of Hephaestus. What? I know that name. It's just kind of funny because of John Stewart's book, America the Book. That's the way it's put in there, so kind of laughing at myself. But yeah, gardens. And that's the 20th thing of gardens that makes it in. Now, before I go back and really rip into this, you know, what was that guy's name? Isaac Newton, right? Like, and Galileo, these people. Do we count them as Christian? These as Christian inventions or Christian things? I mean, Isaac Newton did everything because of God. He said he was motivated by God. That's why he was doing this. He spent more time writing up stuff on the Bible and trying to get the dimensions of Solomon's temple to fit his weird ideas than son of a... Gotta be kidding me. Well, apparently they... Okay, whatever. Again, the article written by Paul Valley is fundamentally misleading. It omits, distorts, and makes blunders concerning the most basic... I guess they were putting these out as a response, but I've seen these listed before. Some of them were different this time, which threw me off because before I could go through them, actually, more of them were different than I thought. Omits, distorts, and makes blunders concerning the most basic of historical facts to give the reader a false impression. It leaves you wondering, could they have possibly been... it leaves you wondering what could have possibly motivated him into writing such a deceptive piece of journalism? Question mark. This exhibition claimed to have shown... Oh, this was in reaction to something bigger. 101 Islamic inventions. If the best 20 are proven lies, what of the other 981? Yeah, that's a good question. Should not the Museum of Science and Industry... Oh, that's Science and Industry. Man, that's Chicago. Museum of Science and Industry. And the University of Manchester search out and preserve the truth instead of helping sites like MuslimHeritage.com perpetuate lies and rob other cultures of recognition they rightfully deserve. If this sort of lie, if this is the sort of lies Islamists are ready to propagate openly, with the approval and endorsement of the authorities, universities, and so many sponsors, then what other lies do they feed you? Do they feed to your children at Muslim schools and to young adults at mosques? That's... oh my God, I can go into a lot of this stuff of what I've heard and then being like, oh wait, that's wrong. Why are Western governments and self-loathing Westerners... I love this dude's tone. It's just such a... and self-loathing Westerners who continue to perpetrate these lies via websites and forums, so eager to appease Muslims and show their cultural produced superior inventions by taking rightful credits from other civilizations such as ancient China, ancient Rome, and pre-Islamic Egypt. Regardless of Paul Valley's factually devoid attempt at altering the world's history in order to show Islam in a better light, and his backhanded attempt to belittle the West and its historical heritage, it remains painfully obvious that scientific and literary progress is slow and stagnant in the Islamic world, specifically due to the Islamic faith and its restrictions upon adherence. Sir Isaac Newton, who was listed by Michael H. Hart as the second most influential man in history, the first happened to be Muhammad then Newton, was a devout Christian, but his discoveries are never referred to as Christian discoveries. Indeed, this recent labeling of inventions by supposed religious beliefs of their inventors is rather a peculiar practice. If the same were to be done for inventions created by followers of Christianity, Judaism, Hinduism, or even Greco-Roman paganism, the list would be endless. Oh, what's that thing that we all that we're all thankful for? The Bill of Rights. Are we to take that as Christian? Because, oh no, there were some uh, people who were deists, even though they were raised in a Christian culture and got all their morals and everything from and viewpoints from Christian culture, because it preserved Greco-Roman culture, even if it was blatantly pagan, and Anglo-Saxon culture and Viking culture, and kept all the stuff to the best it could. Because I read off that Arabic numerals one and I just passed it up. Remember that? That's Al-Khwarizmi. He was a Zoroastrian. So if they can pull that, whoa, Al-Khwarizmi, algebra, with a Persian Zoroastrian, who didn't discover it because he was, I mean, he wasn't aided by the Islamic Empire in doing that. His math skills weren't aided by Islam. He was using Hindu characters for the numbers because they were different from Arabic, and that's what we use, what we call Arabic numerals or Hindu signs, signs from the Hindus. And yes, Hindu back then was a culture and a people, just religion. But since we're going by religion, why not Sanatana Dharma? Democratic republicanism, how about that one? Yeah, the Greeks and the Romans had it, but in our modern style of secularist government, will of the people, Magna Carta, the rights of, well, Magna Carta, Declaration of Independence, Bill of Rights, the rights of man, these Christian things, because maybe not the rights of man. Still got the Bill of Rights, but even that, what about everything? I mean, they have this and then they stop. Modern medicine, Western medicine. Hey, those cures for cancer, those are Christian. What? We could say those are American, right? Or Western. Well, they are blatantly Western. But what a ridiculous bunch. Guy makes a good point, but he should have just loaded it up with. I love chess. Chess is actually banned in the Sunnah. No joke, it actually is, because they said, "Oh, it's gambling." It's like, wait, how is it gambling? And they still argue about it. I would have pulled old Galileo out on him, and yeah, Christopher Columbus didn't know the world was round. Wow, wow. That's kind of funny because there's a one explorer that actually sailed around the Horn of Africa to get to Japan. He was trying to take a quicker route, so obviously the other guy. Even sailing the Mediterranean, as I said, the Earth in ancient times they knew the Earth was round. Yeah, gunpowder. They steal it straight from the Chinese. I don't even have to read this. I already know. I already saw 20 documentaries on the fire torch and how it led to the evolution of the modern firearm, or at least the wheel lock, matchlock. And then you had a flintlock. I actually know a lot about guns because somebody in my family is a gun dealer. The legal kind. Carpet's 3-course meal. 3-course meal. Oh, having to include the 3-course meal in any religion's top 20 list of inventions is embarrassing. The expression scraping the barrel comes to mind. You've got to put bottom of the barrel. Comes to mind, but did a Muslim actually invent it? Unsurprisingly, the answer is no. The Romans invaded Britain in 43 AD. That's where I pulled that date. Almost 600 years before the advent of Islam. And with them, they brought the concept of the 3-course meal, which consisted of the first course, the main course, and dessert. Typical starter, first course. Yeah. Gosh. I just love how this dude writes. Just so sarcastic. It is my type of humor. But yeah.